Hello and welcome on today's Golden Muse Show. This is another live holistic call with myself, Chrisoula, Sirigou, the Golden Muse, and my guest today. We've got Constance from wonderful Holland. Hello, Constance.
Hello, Chrisoula.
We have Sue Ritchie based in England, and also we've got Anne-Marie Mayers. Hello to both of you.
Hi there.
So today's theme is something that speaks to my heart, and I know that speaks to these ladies' hearts here, and everybody else is going to watch the call back again, which is all about nourishing beginnings and nourishment. And nourishment, when you click you go on the internet and you click nourishment, is all about food. That's what they identify nourishment as, nourishing foods, and really, like anything to do with physical needs and nourishing our physical body. But here we're going to take it on a different, we're going to go, we're going to see also nourishment connected with emotional needs and mental needs and mindset. Okay. So nourishment connect with physical needs. We're going to Sue Ritchie because she's the expert in this field. so we're going to come to you, Sue. Nourishment connected with emotional needs. You got me and Constance here, and nourishment connect with mental needs and mental well-being. We've got Anne-Marie. So and also we're going to have an open conversation, what it takes us to be on our own spiritual path and following our own life purpose. Because 2018 is an incredible year for all of us. It's going to be challenging because there's a lot of things required from us. So it is a powerful year, but we've got to stay on the path of self-care. So this is really important. That's why I'm starting off the calls. This is the first official call of 2018. So I'm starting on that, building that foundation and that kind of reminder, that kind of inspiring us, inspiring others, inspiring you, all of you who's going to be watching this, how to set the right sort of, it could be habits, it could be your little tools, what we call the little toolkit. Okay, that your little box where you can easily access things that will nourish you, mind, body, and spirit. Mm-hmm. And this is important because we are all here on the either coaches or helping people on the holistic health and well-being. However, we are not very much great at keeping our promises, because sometimes we do overdo it, don't we? We do. It is a good reminder for us as well, because at the end of the day, we are humans. We do our own best, but it's also good to connect with people that you can feel encouraged and supported, and say, something that is somehow it's at the back of your mind, and then it's coming back again in front, and then you say, okay, how can I bring that into my everyday life again? How can I actually allow more time or more space for myself and my own needs? And honoring our needs, that's going to be a big one for 2018. Mm-hmm. We've entered the 11 master year. So this year is all about asking us to master something that we have already set it up from 2017. So what would that be? So that's a very individual. Okay, that's very individual, but I will be talking about that based on your date of birth. We'll be looking at this particular color predictions. What is your love and success colors for 2018 next Wednesday or the 17th? Okay, that's something that I'm going to be looking at. We're going to be exploring together. So 11 year is on the system I work with. The color mirror system is connected with the color magenta. So if you have any connection with color therapy and color healing, and if you'd like to know more, this is what it's magenta is very much bringing us very closer to our spirit, and it's all about bridging. It's all about bridging. So how we can bridge the ego and the spirit together, So this is really that's how we're gonna get really pushed from different directions, because the ego gonna play big time, and we're gonna have the spirit that would like to come down and feel more grounded and more into our own sort of purpose, our own lives. Yeah.
So interesting.
11 is the year. Also, we talked about that on the Healthy Healing radio show. It's 11 is all about also duality, and we're going to have bring how harmonizing the yin and the yang within our bodies, within our relationships. What we're bringing out there and sharing with the world. So the one that really speaks to me, the like, how can we walk our spiritual talk? This is really, I really like that. How can we actually walk our spiritual talk? So it's not just walking the talk, which is part of us being authentic with ourselves and authentic with the message we share out there and inspire our clients, the people we work with, our families, communities. But how can we be more connected with our spirit? So that's the year. That's 2018, and I will be sharing more about that next Wednesday, the 17th at 8:00. So it's going to be a big one next Wednesday. From that thing that there's a lot based on your date of birth. There was lots of revelation, lots of predictions. I did that last year. It was really interesting. I think Constance and Sue, you followed that, didn't you? I don't know. I can't remember. Okay, so I'm going to come to Anne-Marie first, and Anne-Marie, she's a lady that I met. Probably we've known each other for the last 6 months or so, but on a soul level, I feel that we've known each other for quite a long time. It's just that's how soul connection works. It doesn't matter how many years you're connected. It's actually what's the level of connection you go based on your soul. So Anne-Marie she's a coach. That's one thing that I can, but she's very much involved with NLP and a wide variety of other tools you've got in your own toolkit box. Yes, Anne-Marie. Mindset and growth is something that speaks to your heart big time, and how people can be on their own, living their own soul purpose. So going back to the theme for January 2018, which is about nourishing beginnings and self-nourishment, what would you say for you, Anne-Marie, bringing from your own experience and your own studies and research, what would you say is the key number one factor to keep these beginnings, because we're talking about January and start of a new year, to nourish these beginnings, to nourish, a project or an idea or, whatever, something, a vision that you may have, or even just could be starting a new hobby. What does it take? And I remember what you said to me before. It starts with a P.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It wasn't a swear word.
No.
It does. It comes down to mindset, but I believe mindset is just one facet of success. And mindset is studied a lot in positive psychology, which is one of the tools that I coach with. And mindset's almost like an invisible energy that runs through people. And you might look at someone who's successful and someone who just can't quite make it and think, well, what is the difference? And the difference does come down to their mindset. But for me, if you go dig deeper than that, it comes down to their persistence and their perseverance. It's their ability to keep going. And there are two different types of mindset: the growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. And obviously the fixed mindset is quite limited in what it believes it can achieve. So if it hits an obstacle, it decides that it's too painful to try and I'll just stay where I am. Where the growth mindset people, and probably all of us here will have experienced that, it's a setback, it's a knockback, but it's the ability to bounce back and actually look at that situation and ask yourself, well, what can I learn from that? How can I grow? What can I do differently? And more times than not, I know from my own experience, I come back more tenacious.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the difference between mindset. But that's great but without the perseverance, then the ability to keep on going is something quite different. So I think what we just discussed before, the perseverance is a big factor in the mindset, and also being, like you said before, Chrisoula, being kind to yourself as well. Being realistic about, we all need a vision because our brain just needs to know where we want it to go. We need to seed it with a vision, and then we need to obviously cultivate it with different aspects. But once we have that vision, we're on our way.
Mm-hmm.
But quite often we don't envision because we have no idea of what's to come, what challenges might come, what's around the corner, what setbacks we're going to have. So it's important to be realistic, and it's important to be kind to ourselves when these setbacks happen. And if you want to stay in bed for the day and shut the blinds, then do that. As we said before about self-nurturing, that could be a form of self-nurturing. But it's the meaning you put on it. So if you decide to stay in bed and shut the blinds, that doesn't mean that you are giving up. It means that you're being realistic, and that's what you have decided to do that day. So it's about taking ownership for your actions as well, and just being, like we discussed earlier, more nurturing towards the self.
The words like honoring your needs, and but what does it take to actually get to the point of honoring your needs and really appreciating and say, yes, I have a day off? There's a number of things that could be, we something that you may have already talked about, have already shared in previous calls, but it's actually how much you value yourself. It comes down to really self-value. So how much do you really feel that you are worth it? And then it takes a lot of time. Sometimes people, men and women, they still feel guilty of giving something for themselves and then looking after themselves. So this year, I would really, really encourage you, just do something, whatever that is. Decide, because you've got to commit. It's about commitment. That's exactly what Anne-Marie was saying. Commit to one area of your lives that you say you're going to master. So if it's self-care and looking after your own needs more, then do that. If it's forgiveness and being less harsh on yourself and harsh on others, and then self-judgment, or something that that it has been part of your life, it has coming back again and again. Do you see what I mean? Like this year, just decide that I'm going to do something radical about it, and I'm going to change for good. It's not like a middle of the lane type of thing. That's what 2018 energy is all about. It's not like I'm going to try a little bit and then I'm going to get back out of it and then try again. It's like exactly what Anne-Marie was saying. It is perseverance, it is persistence, and it is the other word. One of the C words that I like is consistency, because that's another one that when we are saying yes to something new, whatever that is, or we want to go on a retreat, or we want to buy something kind of an expensive investment in ourselves, and we say yes to it, but then different triggers come in the way. Have you experienced that? And then you said, oh no, I have to give this money to something else. Oh no, I have to prioritize and have to put them first rather than my needs. And then what's happening to that plan? The universe gets the message, oh, you don't really mean it, do you? Then, all right then, fantastic. It's not going to happen. So it is what the signals you're actually giving out there to the universe, because we are all here very much connected with and understanding the law of attraction. That's why I feel I don't have to explain too much about it. But whatever you give out there, however much you care about yourself or care about the place you live or what you do, then you're giving out the signals.
Yeah.
And then these signals are being received. And then that's how more of goodness will come into your life. So based on all of that, you said, Anne-Marie, yes, absolutely, perseverance and sticking with it, sticking to because challenges will come. Absolutely, you will be tested.
Right.
You will be
I always refer to Oprah Winfrey and the likes of Walt Disney, and most of the greats that we see. They have all adopted a growth mindset, because every person has a story of setback and challenge. I think Oprah Winfrey was sacked from her first anchor job, and she faced some discrimination as well. She could have quite easily have given up if she didn't have a growth mindset, perseverance, and a multitude of other traits. Then she wouldn't be where she is today. And that goes for us all. She's just a human being like me and you, and she's adopted a certain personality trait that she knows stands her in good stead. If she wasn't determined and didn't have the ability to bounce back, then her story might be quite a different one.
Yeah. So what would you say to somebody who is about to start something new? What would be your sort of how would you pave the way for them, to support them on something that it is really big for them and they really want to make a good start? What would you say to them?
There are lots of different ways that you could tackle it. For me, when I'm coaching and people have ideas, ambitions, etc., for me, it's important to help them uncover their beliefs around it and their subpersonalities, which might get in the way. They may have an inner critic, self-saboteur. And so it's important from the start to know yourself. I mean, I know this from personal experience, and and we are blind to ourselves quite often. So I'm always on a quest of self-analysis and self-exploration. I always want to know more about myself. And that doesn't make me a master of myself. By no means am I that. But being aware of yourself and your potential pitfalls. So for me, structure I was not good at structure before. I was very big picture person. So structure and detail is not my forte. But going into 2018 and the ambitions that I've got, that has to be top of the agenda. So be aware of the pitfalls about yourself and put in place some cushioning for that. Because if you don't, the same repeating patterns could occur.
Yeah. So it goes back to awareness, right?
Yeah.
It goes back to self-awareness.
Yeah.
Identifying where you feel that whatever new project you've got, identifying where things could actually, in a way, preempting, where things could potentially fall into difficult territories, and then you say, okay, how can I? And then for me, it's also link with people that they have what you don't have. In abundance, because we have lots of gifts. Everybody we are unique, each one of us, and we've got lots of talents and skills and gifts, but there's a particular gift that Constance could have that is actually, it comes to her very naturally, but I've got to work hard for it. Okay. Yes. I've got it, but I've got to work hard for it. And the same with Sue, or the same with you, Anne-Marie. Or I've got something, and you say, okay, how can you do it so easily? And I say, I don't know, it's just natural, Yeah, exactly. or I have really cultivated it. Okay, it's just, again, it's experience sometimes that helps. So work with people. I think for a big project is actually working with people that will fill in the gap somehow. They will. You will create a strong team around you. I think that's part. But I don't know whether it's part of being a coach to say that, or it's part of like what is managing a project is all about. Just practically speaking, okay. Be clever about it. So okay, I can see you've got that in you that could be very useful to me, and then or it could be useful not just to me or to an individual. It could be useful to whatever collectively it's good for the community, or it's good for other people. Because 2018, going back to 2018, is also the year of world service. Okay, so how can we actually step up more, be more of service to the world? What can we do to bring more of our own energy and light out there?
That's it. And a big word that I'm hearing this year is about collaborations. And that is totally what I'm trying to achieve. And with yourself, we've been in talks about collaborations on different things, and it's realizing that all these people out there have different skills to offer, have different passions and desires and different messages that they want to bring. And I'm seeing that in people, and I'm always thinking, how can I bring these people together and spread what they've got to say to a wider audience, so we can teach and share this knowledge to people? Because for me, that's the biggest thing this year, is about collaborating with other people, with other healers, with other coaches, with other light workers, nutritionists, etc., and opening up the healing message that is available in our individual way, but I can only touch so many people. But when you collaborate with more people, you can open that up to a wider audience.
Absolutely. Yes. So I think it's appropriate actually to talk about the work, that the project that it's been. When I talk about bringing people together, and the project is all of you actually are part of the big contributors in the book of Soulful Musings, and this is something that. It's like the work that's been going on for a few years now, because all of you have been part of my life for some time, either being on my show, or being doing coaching training together, or being part as a speaker in my events, or connecting with calotherapy, with what I do with calometers. But every single one of you brings something of really beautiful. Really, your essence is really beautiful, and that is encapsulated in the book. And that's another kind of toolkit that that's the toolkit I'm putting. We're actually co-creating that possibility to bring that book out there, and then with every single one of you have got all these gifts and different aspects of what holistic health and healing is about. That not one person or one area of expertise can actually bring in, and then different things have a different impact on different people, right? So that's exactly what Anne-Marie was saying, that how can we bring something of value to others collectively in collaboration. So that's an example of that kind of collaboration. And the book of Soulful Musings, the pre-launch is happening on the 1st of March on World Book Day, and the actual venue is in Antwich, which is very close also to the studio where the interviews will take place. So that's happening on the 1st of March, which is an event, World Book Day, that I have been celebrating with all of you coaches, sort of co-writers and publishers and people that love books for a number of years now. But this time I'm going to be pre-launching my book. So and then together we can celebrate each other as well. That's what I love. It's about celebrating life and celebrating each other, connecting with everybody else's gifts, and helping other people at the same time. So that's part of my life purpose, I believe. educating and inspiring others to yeah, self-care is one thing, and investing in yourself is another thing. Yeah. So in your case, Anne-Marie, you're creating this lovely, absolutely amazing academy of yours. So you like to bring all these holistic therapists and coaches together. Would you like to talk about that now, or would you like to leave it for another time? It's entirely up to you.
I'll talk about it now. I won't take too long. Yeah, the Soul Awakening Academy. So it's bridging together, like we said, collaborating with other people. So it will be delivering courses in spirituality, coaching and healing, but also has a bit of a science background to it as well. Somebody who's involved is a doctor of neuroscience and biomedicine. So he comes in, but he's a very deeply spiritual person. Mm-hmm. And he comes in with his science background, but combines it beautifully with the spiritual aspect of us as well. So it looks at consciousness itself, energy, and very much practical therapies on how we can heal and coach. So that's basically it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, it has to be simple for people to understand. so sometimes that's another thing. We overcomplicate our lives. So simplicity is really important, and that's a lesson I've learned, because I am probably the other way around to you, Anne-Marie. I love detail.
Yeah.
I love attention to detail. And when I was teaching full time in secondary schools, and then I had to look at the lesson plans. I had to look at all my materials and everything. Had to be really spot on. I would spend ages and ages on creating new material and all of that. Yeah, okay, it was great, but what about me? So I was going, I was like at the bottom. So that's what we learn, and then yes, I love creating, and I love detail, but I'm not perfectionism will not help me or help others as much. That's what I learned about myself.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, and I can imagine what you're going through, because I'm going through that now, putting all the content together for the coaching course, which starts next week. So I'm swamped with lesson plans and so yeah, you know how that feels now.
Well, it is incredible when somehow, some way we get there and we do it, and it's for me, the 2018 also is about stepping out of stepping out of dramas. That's another big thing for me. Yeah. Because drama scenarios can be easily triggered either by ourselves, by on your own, because there's still things that are not deep down and not healed. There's still elements that are not healed, and you thought that it was healed, but it's not yet.
Someone brings you and you're like, oh, thought I'd worked on that. No.
So eventually you get there, but you've got to persevere, going back to the P word. So drama, that's something that I am inviting you all. I am actually taking ownership by talking to you about it, because it's one thing saying to yourself, yeah, get off drama and all of that. Another thing was you actually talk about it with others. So that's something that I have been gradually learning to be conscious when a drama is created, and I am actually drawn to it. And how to say, okay, this year is about becoming more conscious when you're in the drama scenario, and then you actually say, how I can now I need to step back, and then you don't get involved with this. Just let whatever, God, universe, whatever, let it, sort it out. You don't have to get in between in this situation. I don't know whether it means something to you, in your personal life, but for my personal life, I just said, no more dramas, that's it. Because they can be so, they can really, really absorb your energy. And they really, talking about Nourishing Beginnings, dramas can really, really, take you off your path and really completely, utterly, you don't know where you're going because your attention and your energy is somewhere else, rather than sticking to your path, to, what you want to do.
That's why I think it's important to have an astrology chart done, because it can reveal this kind of thing about yourself. Like, I don't get involved in other people's drama, but I create my own because because I've got a moon and Uranus right coming into my, well, it's in my 12th house, like on the ascendant. So that makes me like, I need a bit of drama for excitement. So, but I know, so now I'm aware of that.
Yes.
If I feel the tendency, is this what I'm doing here? Then I can stop it if I choose to.
Exactly. So it again becomes a choice rather than being completely blinded and completely unconscious about it. So
absolutely,
that's
yeah.
Yes, fabulous. Well, I think it's time to bring in Constance and Sue, and I would like to ask you personally, what is it that we could add to our wonderful self-care toolkit? What is it that, your personal tips and your personal recommendations on a personal or professional level, everything is good. So, So who is going to, shall I come? I will come to Constance first, and then I'm sure there will be more time for you, Anne-Marie, to come back to you. Okay. So, I'll come to you, Constance, first.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, well, my big takeaway from last year is actually that I found out, and it's part of the Heart IQ training as well, that it is so important to find joyful moments in every day. I mean, I was used to finding joyful moments, but then I thought, okay, on Saturday I'm going to do this, and that's nice and fun and it's good. But every day needs to have some of that in your day, so you feel enlightened, you feel energized, you feel ready to do the things you want to do. And that's going to be my word for next year again, because I was already, starting with that because I knew. And I'm actually training myself to bring that into every day, no single day. Not. And it can be little things. I mean, I can enjoy a cup of cappuccino and I'm totally happy. I can go outside, or I can just sit in the sun and have 5-10 minutes, and I think, oh man, this is so gorgeous. And that lights me up. And it can be movement, and it can be reading a good book, like you talked about in your sharings. And I thought, oh yeah, reading a good book. I love it. I've always done that. But sometimes you just give yourself the time, or you sit for the television, and I think, I don't know what I'm doing here. I love to read a book. Let's go.
Yes.
So yeah, it's finding that, and that will be different for everyone. But there are always so many things that you liked, either when you were a child, or that you have done, but you suddenly slipped it. And then take it back and do it again and enjoy it. And for me, it's also being with friends, or traveling and coming to Chrisoula's house and meeting her husband. It's also the communication with people around you that you really love, and that you think, oh, they light up my heart. And when I speak to them, it's interesting conversation. We're talking about important things, and that's what we do here. I mean, this is part of my light up for the day.
Yes. Oh, I'm glad you're part of ours. Yes. Well, you mentioned there a few things. You mentioned about actually finding joy in every single moment, in a way, like really appreciating, come from a place of appreciation of even, people say, oh, it's only cappuccino, Well, no, just be present, be there, and then enjoy it. I think also talking about 2018 and the 11 Master Year and spirituality and consciousness, it's a lot to do about becoming more conscious of, yes, I'm having a cappuccino, or yes, the sun is shining. This kind of, increasing the level of consciousness personally, and that will affect us all, the whole planet. Yes.
And it's absolutely about knowing what brings you joy, and it's also in your work, or that you think, okay, but like you started to set up this book because that brings you joy. Mm-hmm. It's so important to have these lovely projects that really bring you joy, and that's not something you do because you feel you have to do it. No, you like it.
Yes, and sometimes when it brings you frustration, you've got to step back out of the drama.
Of course, that's also part of it.
Because every part, yes, exactly, that's what it is. But just choosing things, joyful things, and as you say, you do it, every day. Yes. What else would I like to add to this? Because the everyday things, when you follow some sort of treatment or therapy or something that really uplift you and soothe you and calm you. And I mentioned on the Facebook Live in our close group on Facebook, I mentioned about essences and essential oils, and becoming, bring more sensuality in our lives, but without trying too hard. I think for me that's the key. Like whatever it comes with ease, it's really important. So you may have already used. I know that the three of you here, you have already used the spritzers, but this is a very, very easy way to bring you back into yourself, and really like connect with your heart, connect with your spirit more, and then there's a beautiful ways of connecting with the angelic energy, or the dragon energy, or the elemental energy. And this one here is the magenta bottle and Metatron.
Love that one.
Yeah. This is it. And then they are made, apart from the energy of the individual color, they're also made with the essential oils. So you can spray the room, or you can spray and connect and breathe in. So that's very easy. And you can have it in your pocket, in your handbag, or you have it by your office desk. And then that's how easily they can work. And then I will suggest next Wednesday, based on your date of birth, the bottle and the spiritual that go together, that will be part of your, helping you for 2018, energetically speaking. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you, Constance. Thank you, my dear. And if anything else pops up, you can always come back and share with us. Yes?
Okay.
Right. Fabulous. So coming to you, Sue. You are the queen of nourishment.
Maybe.
because you've got your own speciality, your own expertise is connected with our gut. So which is, again, the book of Soulful Musings that is actually in the process of getting, compiled different interviews and transcripts and so on. It's a big project, by the way. It's much bigger than I thought. So anyway, parentheses there, moving on. So Sue's contribution is all about gut health and Hashimoto's disease. For me, it's really important to understand, the gluten part of it, because you have said that in the past, Sue, that when people are actually suffering from thyroid issues, or would you actually share with us about gluten and nourishment of the body? Why is it really important because gluten actually is it toxic for our bodies?
Well, for a lot of people, it causes inflammation in the body. And obviously once our body is in a state of inflammation, it's very difficult for our body to heal properly, to function, optimally. So, you know, if you know that you shouldn't be eating gluten, but you still continue to do so because you can't resist the temptation, or people quite often feel uncomfortable from peer pressure around them if they go out for a meal with friends, that they will feel that they're different and people will judge them because they're you know, eating differently, if you like. But, you know, it's actually you're actually not honoring your body and and nourishing it in the right way by eating food that you actually know isn't actually helping your body. In actual fact, it's helping, you know, to make things worse for you. So it is good to, you know, I think it's this thing of actually loving your body and wanting to take care of it. So by actually nourishing it with the right food that actually allows your body to function to its best, and our body always wants to try and function optimally, but we don't always help it. So, you know, eating the right foods that make us feel energized, that make us feel good, is just so beneficial, not only from a health point of view, but then from a mental point of view, because our brain's working so much better. We're feeling emotionally well and calm and rested. And therefore, you know, it just helps us in all areas of our life, really.
Yes, it does. It does. There's a lot about the connection between gut, heart, and mind and brain. So that's why cleansing is very important. I know that you've been saying that, Sue, on previous calls, and I know you're running on courses as well. Are you running something, cleansing course or something like that at the moment?
I do have at the moment I have a 21-day core cleanse program, which is a really powerful program that not only detoxes the body, but rebalances the whole of your gut microbiome. And once you actually do that, you'll see that people see their energy grow, they see their mental clarity and focus improve. People feel calmer. Obviously, your immune system is boosted because 70% of your immune system is your gut. So getting everything in the right place so that you've got all the good bacteria really growing prolifically in your gut means that, you know, you're going to be avoiding a lot of the viruses and colds and things like that you might otherwise be having. And, you know, when you stay well all the time as well, is, you know, you've got more energy to actually be doing the things that you want to do. And if you're, you know, you're running a business or you're starting a new project, then to have that energy and feeling good is going to just help everything flow so much more easily.
Yes. Yes. How can we get find out more about your 21-day cleansing program?
You can find out more about it on my website, which is www.sue-ritchie.com, or you can find me on Facebook at Your Ecstatic Health, and or email me, sue@sue-ritchie.com.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sue. Thank you. It's something that really speaks to me. And then, you know, it's all about, because sometimes it's like our system is clogged up, and then it needs that release, that, detoxing. And then I guess I keep saying, because I need to remind myself, water helps a lot. I need to remind important. Yes. So, right. Is there anything else in particular, Sue, that you would like to add as part of your own self-care toolkit?
Well, yes, I do really, because I think it's what I've sort of experienced recently, coming up to sort of the end of last year, is that I guess it's a very ingrained behaviour for me of, you know, putting a lot of effort into everything and working hard and moving things forward. And whilst I'm, aware that I need to take time out and look after myself and take care of myself, you can so often get really caught up with things and you forget. And then something happens and it's like, oh, okay, yes, I do need to do that. So that certainly sort of happened at the end, towards the end of last year. I realized that, again, and actually picking up at really what sort of Constance was saying, is that I'd let go of a couple of things which actually bring me a lot of joy and actually do nourish me. And one of those is singing. And I was in a choir and things got busy and I sort of stopped going. So I'm actually joining a new group, and I'm going to be starting that in a couple of weeks. So that should be fun.
Yay!
And and I think it's also the reminder of having more quiet time and taking that time to connect with yourself spiritually, your higher self, your intuition, and making that a regular practice on a daily basis. The essence is to to make sure that you're doing that every day.
Yes,
because it is important.
Yes. It is the consistency we talked about before. It's something that it works for you and it feels good to you. Just do it regularly, because it does pay off. It does. You will see the results, but you have to keep up with it. You've got to nourish it. Again, it's about nourishment, isn't it? Because if you try it a little bit and then you stop it, then you try again, that kind of up and down like a troubling thing is not going to help. And then it causes more frustration, and then emotionally it causes more anxiety, and then going back to zero. So that's why whatever, if it really works for you, find out everything you can about it. Really, and then connect with it more and more, and then bring more of that into your life.
I think the other thing really is, I think we get so caught up on this busy treadmill. It seems to be a real malaise for so many people, and what it's very difficult for, I think, our ego to let go of is that actually, if you're taking time out and you're just being quiet and you're doing very little, that that guilt complex comes in, that, well, I'm being lazy if I'm doing that. But actually, and I have to remind myself of this quite often, is that you're not being lazy. You're actually taking good care of yourself, and the benefit from it comes back sevenfold, if not tenfold or whatever.
It goes back years and years ago, centuries ago. The idea of being a martyr, that's one of the key archetypes, that we have to work hard. Things have to be really hard to be able to say, I can enjoy now. There's a lot of things to do with religious background as well, and things are ingrained in our system, not only up here, but also in our cellular memory. And that's why, when we're talking about releasing and healing, it's not only what's happening in your brain, it's actually, in your own cell, in your cellular system. And that's why I love working with color. That's one of the things how color helps. So fabulous. Now, I think we've got a lot in our toolkit box, and if I feel brave enough, time-wise, to squeeze in, I would like to write a blog article that we can bring all of this in. So if you feel that you can commit to writing a paragraph and bringing your own ideas about self-care, then it would be nice to create that blog article, and I will include your email, your contact details, and that link can go out, and then we can share it various ways, and so on and so forth. How does that sound to you?
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah. So I will put in my stuff, and then you send me your own paragraph, your own key ideas, your own tips. And then it doesn't have to be only one paragraph, what I mean, but just doesn't have to be too much either, because I know you're already busy with your own things, but something you feel of good value that we can actually bring together and put in the blog article and share it. And then that could actually end up on somebody else's page, and then they will read it, and then they could say, oh, okay, I could try that. Oh, okay, that's something really gets deeper in them, in their own system, helps them to move forward. So I think, helping however many people we can, even if it's just one person each or whoever many, it is important, isn't it? So that's why we are here now, and I'd like to thank you so much for taking the time off your own personal lives to join me here on the call and sharing your own insights and tips and how we can be investing more in our own selves and self-care for 2018, because that's for the whole year, setting up the whatever seeds and growing them and nourish them. Okay, so Anne-Marie, is there anything else you'd like to add before we?
No. Thank you very much.
So thank you once again, and thank you all of you who's actually watching this call, and we'll be right back on next Wednesday, the 17th of January at 8 o'clock UK time, and the following that is going to be the 31st of January. Also, I'm going to do one on the 1st of February because it is an important celebration, the 1st of February, and I also like to honor the fact that it's the number one is the beginning of the year, of the month. And then yes, so I will be sharing all of these dates and links or Zoom links is under the Soulful Musings webpage, which is a dedicated page for the book, and also the people that would like to register, so people can actually receive some updates about what's happening in the future. Okay, so giving you lots of kisses and lots of love, and then yes, look forward to receiving. If you could send me all of these things through an email, sometime, I'll remind you. Okay, all right then.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.